Alright, now we're to the dotted bread section. Who doesn't like bread? So I'm gonna give you a few recommendations about bread. When you go to make a sandwich, how many slices of bread do you use? You use 2 slices of bread to make your sandwiches. So I wanna give you a 2-for-1 special. There's a couple bread products out there, and you obviously wanna make sure it says 100% whole wheat, just like this one does. When it says wheat bread and not 100%, all it really is white bread with caramel food coloring. So you wanna make sure it says 100% whole wheat. It's fairly delightful. You see that's 45 calories per slice. So normal bread, let's just look at it. There's 100% whole wheat as well. So we're gonna do a little comparative analysis. This has 120 calories per slice. So that would be 240 calories for a sandwich. Here, this is 45 calories per slice, or 90 calories for 2 slices. So it's just a fraction of the calories. 240 for a sandwich, 90 calories here. So you're saving quite a bit of calories. And I know I probably have told you this in the orientation. Remember, just an extra 117 calories, 117 calories over what your body needs for the day. Over the course of the year, that equates to 15 pounds of fat, just 117 calories. So you can save that right there by making a smarter bread selection. Another good bread is this Nature's Own double fiber, and it's 50 calories per slice, so it'd be 100 calories for a sandwich. So it is, once again, a 2-for-1 special. What I kind of like this bread sometimes better than Cereal Delightful. I go back and forth, but it's a denser bread. So if you like more of a denser bread, this would probably be the option I'd go with. One thing that I like to do with either one of these breads is that I like to make my own croutons. And how I do that is I toast this pretty darkly. I'll get the pan butter spray, I'll put garlic powder and oregano. And I said garlic powder, not garlic salt. That's, sometimes people get that confused. And I'll toast it pretty dark, put all that on there, cut it up, put it into squares, and put it on my salad, and make some delicious croutons. Okay, so one of the recommendations that I've been given a lot are these new steamable vegetables. Why I recommend them is that they're easy to prepare. It really takes out a lot of the guesswork. This is actually one of my favorite steamable vegetables, is the spring vegetables. And what I like about it, it's pre-seasoned. So all you do is take this bag, throw it in the microwave 5 minutes, and you got a good serving of fresh steamed vegetables. And my golden rule for vegetables that are steamable in the frozen section is you just want to pick one that has less than 50 calories per serving. When it has less than 50 calories per serving, you pretty much consume the whole bag, just as long as it's not the family size bag. So you have this for dinner, and then a source of protein, and that would be your dinner if you're burned out, especially on the salads. They have several different options here, and remember, the only thing that you got to remember is that you want 50 calories or less per serving. They have some with butter sauce, cheese sauce, but you just want to pick ones 50 calories or less per serving. And there's several of them here. My waffle of choice, like they don't have it here, but I just want to mention it, what it is. I recommend the Eggo Nutri-Grain low-fat waffles. And I don't know if you remember that naturally more peanut butter I was talking about earlier. Put a nice little layer of that on your waffles, and then we'll talk about the syrup later on. It's the log cabin sugar-free syrup. You can't pull it out. Alright, right here, the Bird's Eye Steam Fresh Meals for 2. This is kind of like the TV dinners. Like you just don't feel like preparing something, and this would be a much better alternative than going through a drive-through. You just pop this bag, similar to the vegetables, in the microwave for 10 minutes, and you have 2 servings of a nice dinner or lunch. And I'd probably recommend this at lunchtime, depending on your goals. But all these range from 290 to probably about 340 in calories for half a bag. And it takes out, once again, the guesswork with this grilled chicken and roasted garlic sauce. Doesn't that sound delicious? It actually is delicious. I like it a lot. So TV dinners, just going off what we just talked about. You want to have probably 3 of these in your kind of your back pocket, just in case you're like, oh man, I forgot to make something this week. I just haven't been planning good. So you can pull out a TV dinner and pop in the microwave and have a good healthy alternative that doesn't take much prep time or much guesswork, or it takes out the guesswork. My recommendation is that you want to go with the Lean Cuisine, smart one, or a healthy choice, and you want to pick one with at least 20 grams of protein, give or take a few grams. So to get the 20 grams of protein, you're either going to have to go with one of the bigger healthy TV dinners or go with a sandwich, panini, or pizza. Some of the other ones I just kind of want to talk about, they have these new steamable ones that are pretty good portion, and a lot of them are closer to the 20 grams of protein. And then they also have the bigger healthy choice ones that are going to be closer to the 20 grams of protein. Alright, I bet you didn't think we were stopping in this section. One section is this. This is the ice cream section. One thing that I always tell people, there are no good or bad foods. Anything's okay in moderation. But you could pick some healthier options. I don't know if you're familiar with the Skinny Cow or the Weight Watchers brand in ice cream, and those would probably be the two ones that I would recommend. But they do have some other options here. They have the 60-calorie fudgesicles, which aren't too bad, and I also recommend the sugar-free popsicles. The only thing that you want to pay attention to on these, some of them are healthier than obviously the other options you have, but you really want to control how many you eat today. And one thing that I typically recommend is that you want to pick one with 100 calories or less per serving. Weight Watchers has some good ones. They have the fudgesicles themselves. They also have my personal favorite, the coffee latte bars. And the Weight Watchers are gonna look like this. Those right there. And I would recommend the coffee latte if you're a big coffee fan like I am. So let's talk about some Cool Whip. I only have one recipe that I like to use with Cool Whip. I recommend getting the Cool Whip free, and you want to buy the smaller one because really, guess how many servings are in this thing? 25 servings, so you don't even want to tip yourself with the big one. But I make a healthy cheesecake. You're like, what? Healthy cheesecake? Is that possible? It is possible. How I do it is that I crumble up some low-fat graham crackers in a juice cup, and then I top it with the sugar-free, fat-free cheesecake pudding, and then I will take some frozen berries, which are next door down. You can either go with like a mixed berry medley type thing, or you can just drop some strawberries and blueberries down in it, and then I top it with the Cool Whip free that I just showed you. It's a delicious and nutritious cheesecake. So does anybody have a bad habit of going to McDonald's every morning through the drive-thru getting a sausage aged croissant? I know a few people like that. Well, Jimmy Dean's actually come out with their healthy version. I don't necessarily recommend with the croissant one. That's all they have at this grocery store. You can get them where it's a whole wheat bagel or a whole wheat muffin. It's always on turkey sausage or low-fat Canadian bacon, egg white, and then a low-fat cheese. 2.5 minutes, you got a delicious breakfast option. But make sure you get the Jimmy Dean Delights, not the regular Jimmy Dean's. This is the breakfast sausage that I was talking about earlier, and this is what we use in our pizzas or our omelets, the honeysuckle breakfast sausage. And I actually think this one's much better than the Link's. You remember that mochaccino I was talking about earlier? This is the Swiss Miss I was talking about, the Sensible Sweets Diet 25 calories. So you put a little bit of that in your coffee with some skim milk, you have a delicious mochaccino. Alright, so here's some canned fruit. The only thing I really personally do with canned fruit is that I use the canned pineapple for my fruited chicken salad. And when it comes to canned fruit, the number one thing you want to remember is that you want to get fruit in its own juice. You do not want to get it in syrup. And we'll just do a little analysis real quick of the calorie difference. Here. So we got pineapple and pineapple, one's in heavy syrup, one's in pineapple juice. So let's just flip over. There's quite the difference, 40 calories per serving. So 110 with the heavy syrup, 70 with the pineapple juice. So there's 4.5 servings per container. So you're saving 180 calories by just picking the one in its own juice. And I actually think it's better. One secret that I always talk about when you do the fruited chicken salad is that you don't want to drain all the juice off the pineapple, because then you have to use more mayonnaise. Just keep some of the juice on the pineapple when you go to make the fruited chicken salad. And that recipe, of course, is on our website. So who doesn't like chili? Every man, of course, likes chili. So how do I make my chili? Everybody has their own little way to make chili. One thing that I do, I will get some of that 90% lean ground beef that we were talking about earlier. I'll brown a couple pounds of that. I'll show you the chili seasoning that I use here in a bit. Then in a big crock pot, I'll put some diced tomatoes. Now I usually get a big can, so I only have to open one can because I really don't like opening cans. So I'll get a big can of the diced tomatoes. I'll get a big can of the Rotel, put in there. Then I get a big can of chili beans. And then I put some then I put some chili seasoning. I chop up a red onion. I put a little bit of the brown sugar Splenda, and of course some Mr. Ishitas in there, and you will have the best chili ever. You combine that with the meat you just browned, simmer it for a couple hours, all in the crock pot. And then I'll talk about the crackers that we'll use a little bit in the chili. And if you wanted to, you could put some of that 2% shredded cheese in the chili, and you're gonna be satisfied for a long time. This is the whole wheat pasta that I was recommending. I recommend the whole wheat egg noodle pasta. The reason that I recommend it is a softer whole wheat noodle. A lot of people complain about the whole wheat pasta being a hard noodle. So this is a soft noodle, and this is what I was referring to when you with the turkey sausage recipe, that you would use the whole wheat egg noodles. So spaghetti sauce. You just want to remember you don't want anything with meat, cheese, or Alfredo sauce. Spaghetti sauce is one of those things that can be kind of tricky because sometimes we'll put things like olive oil or something that'll add fat. Olive oil, of course, is healthy. It's a healthy fat, but spaghetti sauce is really not something that you need to add fat to. So I would probably stick with one of your traditional marinades, even one that's like tomato basil or some with mushrooms in it. They do have some options, ragu. They don't have it here, but they make a ragu light, and then they have a heart smart down here with a Prego blend. And those would be some lower calorie options. So the ragu light or the Prego Heart Smart would be some lower calorie options if you want to go that route. So canned meats, the thing that you want to remember, you're probably only going to do canned tuna or canned chicken, is that you want to get it in water and not oil, of course. That's kind of, a lot of people know that one. Like, duh, I know that. The thing about canned chicken is that you want to make sure that it's only chicken breast. Sometimes there's dark meat in there, so you want to make sure you always get the one that's chicken breast. So we'll just see if we can find one right here. So this is a white chicken breast, and see this one, let's see, yeah, this says white and dark. So you want to make sure you get the one that's only white, not the white and dark.